everyone, and welcome to Club 2, episode 23 of Rolling in the Isles, an FM20 British Isles Journeyman series with me, the United City FM. If you remember last time we were together, we played our first proper game of the season on one of the episodes in the Welsh Premier League, and we got a really good win against Colwyn Bay, but since then things have not gone particularly well, really. In league terms it's alright, but we got knocked out of a couple of cup competitions and form has been decidedly average, really. What it's meant is that we're sitting in third place currently, which is okay, but we're a little bit adrift, but it is slightly skewed by the fact that we've only played 7 games compared to most teams around us playing 7 or 8 so far, and that was because of all of our European games at the start of the season. So yeah, it's a little bit hit and miss, and I'm not overly happy with the form and some of the players, but there's only one thing that we can do, and that's keep getting out on the pitch, keep trying to tweak formations and tactics and see whether we can get a decent result from somewhere that hopefully then builds the confidence. And hopefully that starts today against Afan Lido. A couple of really winnable games against Afan Lido and then Aberystwyth before we come up against the New Saints in a little while. So we really got to get some good points on the board. And so we talked about last episode, we talked a little bit about I wanted to trim the squad size a little bit, and I have done that. If we go into the squad page now, it's a little bit smaller than it was, and the way that we did that was there were 2 or 3 players likes of Parry and Graham and Edwards in the centre of defence. There were a number of those players that were slightly older than some of the rest of our squad and on slightly higher wages, or coming to the end of their contract, or their attributes no longer really matched up with the players that we had in the squad. So I needed to trim the squad a bit, and I managed to do it. A lot of them have gone out on free transfers just to get them off the wage bill. We bought some youngsters in that I spoke to you about last episode, and so ultimately I think the squad is in a better position than it was a little while ago, so that's encouraging. In terms of today's game against Afan Lido, pretty much everybody's fit. There's 1 or 2 little changes that I've made in terms of the style of play. We're still on a gegenpress and a balanced style, but we've gone slightly more standard in our passing rather than shorter, and I've implemented a couple of player instructions for specifically the central defenders, just to reduce them launching the ball over the top too early, trying to get the ball into midfield so we can work it from there more. So that's the intention. So I'm going to take play out from the defence as well, and we're going to try and bypass the defence into our more playmaking area in midfield and see if they can get hold of the ball and put better balls in. So that is something I'd like you to look out for in the game that we play. Other than that, it's pretty much as it has been, really. We've got 1 or 2 players that have just come back from little minor knocks, so everybody seems to be pretty fit and healthy these days, which is really encouraging. So today's team for the game against Afan Lido is Fuller in goal, Harden at right back, Owens at left back, Gardner and Bentker in central defence, Hazel, Rogers and Smith in central midfield, Sarmento on the right, Rowlands on the left, Busumbru up top, with a bench of Hope, Nichols, Evans, Pritchard, Fenlon and Rickards. So let's get into today's game and see what happens. So I went for quite a passionate, positive team talk of we're the favourites here for a reason, go and show them why kind of thing. The Afan Lido formation is an interesting one. It's quite a defensive 4-5-1, so they're going to be quite difficult to break down. So we'll have to check out whether getting in that ball into midfield a little bit more than we have done and being able to get them to move it into the attacking options, hopefully that's going to hold us in good stead in this particular match. As before, I've just felt that the defensive balls up to the striking options are a little bit too quick. A goal kick there from Fuller into Sarmento wins the ball eventually, and again we go too early to Busumbru, not in quite the right spaces, but we win the ball back again, which is encouraging. I've been pretty happy with the defensive work a lot in terms of lots of block shots in recent games and putting the sort of body on the line, and Busumbru had a chance there, but good hand by the goalkeeper who parries it out and then clears it. The defender comes in and clears it. But a good opportunity. You can see that in terms of match stats, we're a little bit lower than they are in possession of the football, which is a bit disappointing. A chance for them. What happened there? Oh, so the corner comes in. It looks like it was a fairly tame effort, really, wasn't it, from Davies? And you can see on that far post, we had a player there who it just seemed to rebound off of. Oh, I think that's Owens, our left back, on that right-hand post. And, oh, that's so disappointing. 40 minutes gone, and we are 1-0 down, and struggling a little bit to implement our style of play on this particular match. And as I feared, their 4-5-1 type of formation seems to be really holding firm for them, and we're really struggling to break it down. So I'm going to echo what the assistant says and go assertively and say that we need them to do better, show a bit of desire. And there's no reason to not to send these guys straight back out again health-wise, so we'll do that. But some of them have got to buck their ideas up in terms of playing and their average rating for this particular match, because it's not good enough against a team that we really should be putting under pressure. So at this point, I am going to pause the game. We're going to use one of the shouts, and which one are we going to do? We're going to go with demand more from all of the players. So we'll click in there and confirm the shout. And then we're actually going to move into an attacking style rather than our balanced style. See if we can really push at them a little bit further and get some more opportunities than we had. But again, it's Afan Lido on the ball, but an aimless ball into our defensive area means that Gardner can clean it up quite comfortably, gets it back to Fuller, we settle the play back down again, but can we do something with it into Owens at the left back? And he's the one this time that goes through to Busumbru, straight through on goal, and Busumbru misses by inches, didn't he, down that right hand side of the post. Really unlucky. Good play by Owens on the left to get it through to him, and then slightly unfortunate on the shot. And look at these average ratings. 6.3 for a couple of our midfield area, a 6.2 for Rowlands and 6.3 for Busumbru. We've really got to change something in this. So we're going to take Rogers out and put Evans in. We're going to take Rowlands out and put Kerry Fenlon in down the left. And we're going to have to take Sarmento or Busumbru. Which one would you take off? I think I'm going to take off Sarmento, put Jake Fenlon on down that right, and see if we can get better service in for Busumbru, and just see if that's going to make it's going to make no difference at all, is it? 2-0 down straight after the substitution. That's really disappointing. Oh, a good free kick, I guess, but the defence get themselves all caught up in a bit of a mess. And they overload on that far side. There's no offside their decision either. And there's two players of theirs right under the ball. And we didn't do a good enough job of chasing the runners on that particular set piece. Harden down the right-hand side. I think Smith is going to take over from Harden down the right-hand side. We need more from Smith. Hazel in central midfield, who's on the ball now, and Smith both haven't set the place alight yet this season. I expect a little bit more from them. I was hoping that getting that ball into midfield more would enable them to get on the ball more and do more with it, but so far in this game they haven't been able to do it, and there's a really disappointing air of lack of confidence in this team at the moment. Busumbru again through on goal. Can he get a consolation goal? He can't. The goalkeeper does very well to parry it away again. And at 2-1 we might have stood a chance with the last few minutes, but it's just going to drift away, isn't it? And at 93 minutes the full-time whistle goes, and Afan Lido, who are fairly low down in the table, have absolutely dominated us all the way through that game. It's so disappointing, and we're going to have to be a bit assertive with them and tell them that simply not good enough. What's that going to do to our league position? We've still got games in hand, but it's not ideal at all, is it, at this stage of the season, to be dropping points to some of the lesser teams in the division. I mean, they've moved up to 5th from like 9th because of that win. It was a really good win for them, but it's really hurt our chances of staying in contention with Barry Town and the New Saints at the top of the division. We're going to have to take some points off of both of those teams in the next couple of games against them, just to be able to get back into that sort of leading pack again. And that is not ideal at all. As I say, so far this season, some of our players just haven't been doing good enough. You look at Hazel, for example, 6.71 as an average rating is not what he was doing last season for me. Last season he was up in the 7s when he came into the club. Rowland's come into the club at 6.79, not good enough. Busumbru, he's got 7 goals, but it's in 16 appearances, and I would hopefully put him into double figures by now if he was really on the form that he was last season. But the problem is there's nobody behind them in the games that I've used them for. You can see I've used all of these players at one point or another, and they're not pushing them hard enough for a first team place. Yeah, disappointing, isn't it? In terms of the next episode, we're going to have a little bit of a gap. I'm aware that the new Saints are coming up very soon, but I'm going to be playing them at the very back end of the season. There's a game there at the very last point, so we're going to be playing them then. So we're going to play Cardiff Met University next in the next episode of Rolling in the Isles, but that might not be for a couple of days yet. There's a video coming out tomorrow, a bit of an unusual video that you'll have to keep an eye out for, and that will drop at 8 p.m. GMT time, like all of my videos do this week. I'm just playing around with the upload times and seeing whether it makes any difference. So this week's it's at 8 o'clock, and there'll be a special video out tomorrow. On Thursday, we're going to be starting a brand new series called Relegation Rescue, and it's in Germany. And I already know which team that we're going to be taking over. They're the bottom team as of Christmas Day in the first season, so it's a bottom at Christmas challenge, and we're going to see if we can avoid relegation with them. So come on Thursday, come back and see who it is that we're going to be working with there. And on Friday, Rolling in the Isles will return, and we'll come back and we'll play Cardiff Met Uni in this Welsh Premier League, and see if we can get some more points on the table, and see if we can find a way to escape this group behind us and try and drag ourselves back up to the group ahead of us. So that's for next episode, and that's for the next couple of episodes of varying videos over the next couple of days. I hope you'll enjoy all the content. Keep giving me feedback, keep letting me know what you think. It's always important for me to learn what you guys want and don't want. It doesn't mean I'll implement everything, but it means that I'm interested to hear what you have to say. So yeah, until next time, thanks very much for joining me. Hope you're enjoying this series. If you are, why not subscribe to the channel if you've not already? Helps you keep up to date with the release schedule on the videos. If you like this particular episode, why not click a like on it for me? Help me get seen by other people, help to continue to grow the channel, which is really important. Until next time though, take care of yourselves. I will see you very soon, and bye for now.